Hello there and welcome to ANZ Stadium here in Brisbane tonight. It's the first time we've telecast a night game out of the new headquarters for the Brisbane Broncos, and it's a big night that's been provided by the promoters of this evening's match between Brisbane and South Sydney. Brisbane are lying currently equal fourth on the Winfield Cup table. There's their team for tonight. 9 Australian representatives and 3 state representatives make up their lineup. All their test stars are back from Wednesday night, including the number 7 Alan Langer. Wayne Bennett is the coach. They're equal, as I say, with Canberra in 4th position on the Winfield Cup ladder, and are 2 points in advance of Manly, who are set down to play St George in Sydney tomorrow. Fireworks, plenty of that. Rick Price has already performed for a crowd of around 30,000 as South Sydney come out now, and a huge job in front of them, an awesome task. Let's have a look at their side. They've won just the 4 matches compared with Brisbane's 9. Maybon has been moved back to full back. Lintmire, Patterson, Thompson, are they still out there somewhere? I'm sure they are. Mellor, Trindle, Field, Hermanson, Skelton, Johnston, Andrews, Doniger and Matthew Fuller in his 2nd match back from injury, and Frank Curry is the coach of South Sydney. Bill Harrigan is the man in charge of this game, the league's number 1 referee at this stage of the season. Brisbane running left to right. They're running into the breeze in the first 40 minutes of this game as the ball comes down and is played immediately by Craig Field, who can expect to have a very busy night here, and a match that I guess Craig has been looking forward to because it gives him a chance to pit up against Alan Langer, the number 1, number 7 in the game.
And as the first penalty is awarded to South Sydney, just on Craig Field. He wasn't very happy being taken from the field against Balmain from the Sydney cricket ground, as the Brisbane players ruled to have held the South Sydney player down for too long. Always a penalty early in games for that infringement. And Field will be looking to impose himself on this game. The Souths are to be a chance in this match, and he has to lead the way.
Young Skelton is in the number 9 jumper for South Sydney tonight with no Sean Garlick. Johnston plays the ball. Souths have worked it up now towards the 20-metre line, and it's Hermanson to play at this time. Field is the first receiver. He offloads, and oh gee, that's a very strong run by Doniger, but an equally good tackle. And you guessed who it might have been. It was Trevor Gilmeister. Now it comes out to Trindle, who's playing in 5'8", in the 5'8" position in jumper 41. Maybon back at full back as the short pass goes back to Johnston. Recovered by Craig Field. Came off the chest, no knock on, but play on. And not play that, according to the referee. Harrigan did not nullify the tackle count. Skelton gets it away, a face ball over for Field. He waits it into a very big in goal. Did O'Neill touch it? I think he may have, and Harrigan at the moment is going to talk to his touch judge, and I've got a feeling it's coming out for the line dropout.
No, he's definitely touched that one. See it on the replay there that the ball changed direction. They're pointing to one of the South Sydney players. Manoa Thompson is actually removing something from the field.
So line dropout for the Brisbane Broncos. They've met once this year, and South won that in the Tooheys Challenge at Lang Park. South won by 18 points to 10. They've only played 5 times since Brisbane entered the league, and Brisbane lead the head-to-head by 3 matches to 2. So they've been in opposite sides of the draw since 1988. South's on the attack. They're 15 metres out from the line. Field goes from left to right across the back of the ruck. Doniger gets a pass back to Field. They're making the ball do the work. Here's a try coming, and South Sydney go in wide out. Manoa Thompson puts it down. South Sydney grabbed the early lead. A try nicely orchestrated. Craig Field, he handled twice, and big Manoa Thompson goes in to score.
And great backup play from the South Sydney side. We see Craig Field come back across. Now there's not much on until this play here. As we freeze it there, that's the important pass. This player gets on the outside, and that creates an overlap for South Sydney as play continues. They keep the ball alive. There's the pass into the gap. Darryl, I thought Trindle probably would have taken the fullback on, but he was selective in his pass to Manoa Thompson. Good try.
Yeah, well, Brisbane were caught shoot. That missed tackle there by Madison. That's the one that allowed Field to get the ball on to Trindle. Showed a lot of pace, Trindle, and good start by the Rabbits here to go to a 4-0 lead.
Craig Field attempting conversion from practically 30 metres out. And as you can see, he's right over on the sideline. Off the boot. It's got the height and the length, but not quite online. So, but his progress has halted just a couple of metres into Brisbane's territory, with South leading by 4 points to 0.
And I don't think it's any coincidence that wherever possible they're sending Jeremy Doniger towards Alan Langer. And Langer's on the fringe in defence. A very tall man, Doniger. South Sydney believe that he might be able to slip some ball, cause some problems for Brisbane on the fringe of that ruck as Field tries to put the fullback in the winger, but O'Neill in good position. And high there by Thompson with the help of Lindmeyer.
Julian O'Neill playing at full-back tonight, a position that I think I've seen him play his best games at. He's been used as a 5'8" and a centre. That was a solid tackle by Johnston on Andrew G, who is only in his third game back from that broken jaw suffered in State of Origin 1. Johnston, though, really aimed him up and hit him very hard. Now Gilmeister, 5 metres from the halfway line. Well, the Brisbane side on the blind side had gone down the field expecting the downtown, and Kerrod Walters had to reverse his thoughts and come open side looking for a kicker in the shape of Alan Langer. Now Rod Maybon carries it back to 28 metres out, and this is Paul Mellor, youngster that we saw a bit of at the start of the year playing in the centres for the Rabbitohs. Field with a short pass. Johnston takes the tackle. Field offloads. Trindle shows some evasive work as he makes about 5 or 6 metres down the park. He's just inside his own half of play as Craig Field runs it to the defence line. Now Hermanson struggles to get the arms free to offload, but doesn't. And Skelton, a dummy half, decides to make yards, and good yards, and 20 of them at least. Good run by young Skelton. 25 metres out from the Brisbane line, and South's again on the attack. Craig Field holds it back, tries to get inside, finds Rod Maybon, and Maybon is brought down about 8 metres out from the Brisbane line. He's lost the ball, and the Broncos come away with it. The pressure is off for them for the time being, and this is Lazarus now.
Well, it's a great break by Skelton. Didn't he show some speed? The markers didn't work. They were very poor around that area. From there, Craig Field carried it on. He's having a fine game, Field, even early in the match, organising this South Sydney side. Look, with these two sides, we're going to see a good game, an open game, because they both like to throw the ball around, and it's entertaining so far.
It's good work from Skelton there. Actually, Alan Langer went too quickly. He thought that the first receiver was going to kick the football, so he went to try and nullify that. That allowed the gap straight up the middle as now Brisbane attack it wide. Kevin Wallace straight through.
Inside the 35 metres, he's got support. Madison links up, and now Hancock joins in, goes over the line, under the uprights. First try for the Broncos was a Julian O'Neill.
Yeah, great backing up there by O'Neill. He comes back to a missed tackle, one-on-one. And Craig Field, we just gave him a rap, but he was the man in the South's line who did miss the tackle.
Julian O'Neill is the man that has scored the try. Kevin Walters, he did the job, Paul.
And just watch O'Neill position himself back there. Now inside Madison he goes. Had too much speed. Thompson made the lunge, but O'Neill's momentum carried him over. The Broncos hit back.
And that's the danger of the Brisbane side. Their individual brilliance. Kevin Wallace, it was a very poor attempt to tackle from Craig Field, who went high. You see plenty of support there. Terry Madison has done very well to get there. So too Julian O'Neill from fullback. Steps out of the tackle of Manoa Thompson and carries Brett Patterson over the line with him, who's been hit back straight away and should go to the lead with a very easy conversion attempt.
Madison from right in front. Big crowd enjoying the fight back immediately by the Broncos. Madison gets the extras. Good lighting here at ANZ Stadium. It's a credit to the Broncos that they've got this together so quickly. Everybody's got a great view of it. You're a fair way from the actual game, but really not any further than you were at the Sydney Football Stadium or maybe the cricket ground. Through the hands, Madison finds Renoff. Comes to Mellor. Mellor pulls him down 38 metres away from the South Sydney line.
That's just class football. Ben Lazarus on his knees throwing a good pass. Staying alive, Brisbane. They're starting to keep the football in motion, and that's danger signs for South Sydney on the last tackle. They're looking to run it, Langer.
Langer draws them, puts O'Neill through a gap, O'Neill, can he make the line? Momentum's got him there, but he's held up. No try rule by Harrigan.
Well, this has been a sensational pass by Alan Langer, who drew two South players and put O'Neill into the gap. Look at this class play. He draws in a couple there. Trindle was one of them. O'Neill put the foot down. He had Khan back on the inside. He beat the fullback. But nice tackle by Thompson. Good work by Manoa Thompson.
I should have thought O'Neill would have scored here, but a great ball and all tackle here from Manoa Thompson. Darryl Trindle caught out poorly in defence there. The South Sydney now try and take the ball out of their own danger area. And they're tackled midfield, 20 metres out from their own line. Craig Field again kicks high over the head of Julian O'Neill. Ball bounces kindly.
Full marks too to Manoa Thompson. He's had to pull off a couple of tackles that had to be made. That was one of them. And talking of Manoa Thompson, that's him on the broad of his back at the bottom of the screen. Brisbane making the mistake. The ball bounced forward. That's not a forward pass. Hancock delivers the pass. Renouf goes down to the 20-metre line. Renouf, he loses the ball 15 out from the line. Tackled by Mellor.
Brisbane really throwing the ball around now. I thought that last pass from that play might have been a touch forward, but Harrigan was right in line. He ruled it okay. And the Broncos, this pass here, well, that dead set goes forward, and Harrigan let it play on. And he had a couple of beat here, Renouf. I think he mucked himself up there, and now South's back on the attack, and a penalty to the Rabbits inside the 10 metres from the scrum.
It was good work by Matthew Fuller. He knew that he had the Broncos on their heels, and he had them inside the 10. He only had to run to the defence, and a penalty had to be forthcoming. Trindle finding the line now. Centre of the ground, about 32 metres out. He finds it practically on the halfway mark. Now, inside the 10 against Brisbane. Now, they'll do it all again now, and Trindle should come across and find the line. There seemed to be a bit of hesitation there, as though they didn't realise they could kick for the line again. But now they have the tap to be taken just 10 metres away from the Brisbane line, and a very good chance for the Rabbitohs to go back to the lead here. This is Lintmire. Skelton at acting half. That's Johnston, turns his back on them, tries to get a pass out off a hit and spin run.
Again, you'll see Craig Field run the decoy across. Well, taking the ball this time and trying to set up his outside men. That was Terry Hermanson. That's South's best ploy, is trying to change the point of attack.
Now from Skelton back to Andrews. He acts as the pivot. Field comes around the back, gets away from one, almost through another, but Gilmeister hangs on. Lintmire's a dummy half. Across now for Johnston. Johnston with his head down. Not very much creative work coming from these South Sydney forward plays. Langer didn't play at the ball. Now Souths have lost it, and Brisbane come away.
Well, Craig Field looks the player most likely for South Sydney, doesn't he, to create something and to make a break. He's only one running to the line, putting the step on and a bit of skill.
Fatty, I would like to see Rod Maybon get up there and take a little bit of pressure off Field. He's played a lot of halfback, Maybon. He's back at fullback now, so he can pick his time to come and inject himself, and I just think that would take a lot of pressure off the number 7 out there. Steve Renouf, he's straight through the middle again.
And he's over the halfway mark. Renouf, another incisive run by the international centre. Tackled on the South Sydney 40-metre line. Langer cuts out a player, finds Johns out wider. Johns 38 metres from the line. If you've just joined us, Friday Night Football on the 9 Network. And Brisbane leading South 6 points to 4 as Langer weights it down into the in goal for Maybon. Good chase by Gilmeister and also Madison. That's John Lintmire. Big result in the lower grade here tonight, keeping in mind Brisbane don't have 21s. And the home side, Brisbane 38, defeated South's 14. Skelton brought down 30 metres out from his own line. Manoa Thompson. O'Neill, he's on the carry-back mission. Patterson takes him, and they make a mistake out there between them, the fullback and winger for the Broncos. And Harrigan is going to set a scrum down. Hancock and O'Neill making the mistake. So 21 minutes gone, Brisbane leading South 6 points to 4. Right on the 30-metre line. The scrum, there's a knock-on at the scrum base by Craig Field.
Tragic there for South Sydney, and a good attacking opportunity at last. And once again, and Craig Field knocked the pill on. Just a little one right here.
Yeah, the lock forward actually kicked the ball just as Field was about to pick it up, and now we see changing fortunes with Brisbane. Even though they're 40 metres out from their own line, they are on the attack and looking to go wide at every opportunity. Chris Johns outside his man. Got Khan in support. Good tackle from Thompson again.
Walters. Kerrod Walters now. This is Madison. They've got space. They're putting it through the hands. Renoff. 35 out from the line.
And if Darryl Trindle continues to run up out of the line like that out wide, they will carve them up.
Gilmeister. Langer. Walters. Kevin this time. Langer up the centre. 8 metres out from the line. Chance for Brisbane again. Through Cairn. It's gone over to Lazarus. They won't stop him. Lazarus goes in to score.
Well, it looks like rabbit season here, because the Broncos are going to run right if the South can't keep their defensive line intact. And that was all too easy for Glenn Lazarus. South had the numbers here. They had 4 on 4, but Lazarus, a little dipsy-doodah, went straight through a couple of them. Skelton didn't even try to tackle him.
Yeah, he was the key player, Sean Skelton. He showed no intensity whatsoever. If he'd have come across and moved up a little bit more, that gap wouldn't have opened.
And then the other stands that you might call the outers or the bleachers, 160 private boxes they've got. As Madison strikes it and shaving the upright for another 2 points.
You know, I know Gilly didn't have the happiest match last week either, and he's really starting to lift his work rate.
Well, that's the thing I've seen, Gene. The forwards are really doing their work up front with Lazarus, but especially the 2 second rowers. Cairn is really running with a lot of power, and I saw Gilly put a sidestep on a minute ago. It's a miracle.
Yeah, well, it's great to see. I know they were disappointed in their efforts last week, and you know, with the full stock of players back this week, and it's looking, as you said, awesome at the moment.
Alan Cann lost it, but was able to gather it back in. Now it's been put down by Gilmeister.
Give him a rap.
Gilly, what's doing?
It wasn't a sidestep, his knee gave way.
This was the incident. Gilmeister was hitting it up very hard. Craig Field was the man that was on the spot to pick up the opportunity for South Sydney. And now the Rabbitohs are 25 metres out from the Brisbane line. Andrews looking for a gap that didn't present itself, and Alan Cann wrapped him up and put him away. In fact, it was Andrew G. This is Cann involved in this tackle with Kerrod Walters. Skelton plays it. Field hands it off for Trindle, and they push it out for Maybon, linking up with his back line. And Hancock is there to put him away. Play 20 metres off the Brisbane line. Trindle goes to the air. Not a bad bomb. They go up for it. And Julian O'Neill was given some professional shepherd there by some teammates, but nothing came of it.
That was a very ordinary attempt to take there from Julian O'Neill, who has a bit of a reputation early in his career in the top grade of being too dusty under the high kick, and won't enhance it with that effort. South Sydney, a great attacking opportunity here. All the forwards out of the way and a deep back line.
Wide ball. Brett Patterson did well. He had to stoop down to take it. He's brought down 12 metres out from the line. This is Trindle. Across now for Matthew Fuller to take it up to the defence line. Kerrod Walters there, prominent in defence. Skelton across, finding Johnston, winding it up, the big fella, but he's pulled down 3 metres from the line. Now, let's look for some more creativity this time as South Sydney attack the Brisbane line. 9 metres out from it, played by Trindle. Field gets out from dummy half. Hermanson. There's a try for Miller. Out wide. South get their second. Miller, the try scorer.
And great work there from Terry Hermanson to hold the ball up and then get a pass away, which really took Brisbane by surprise. The far winger, Michael Hancock, thought that all the danger was over. Good ball here. This is Hermanson. We freeze it there. You see the winger has actually come in. That's left the South Sydney winger, Mel Law, in open spaces. Play continues. The fact that we could get a ball away here created the try out wide, and Michael Hancock, who'd come in, was caught out by this pass.
Well, they've been known to come back before, haven't they? I think Alan Can actually goes in there. That leaves the Brisbane line a bit short from the start, and a free run to the line. But the South, they've been known to hit back before. They've done it again, the Rabbits. It's Darryl Trindle
Taking the kick.
Here he is from out on the sideline. Plenty of height, not enough direction though. And so Brisbane, in front of their home crowd, leading by 12 points to 8.
Oh, look at this, Hermanson through.
Hermanson is right down the park. O'Neill finishing up with the ball for the Broncos.
Oh, big run there by Terry Hermanson. Straight up the high diddle-diddle he went. The Broncos defence, Gilmeister now.
It's a shame that Hermanson, in trying to find a support player, actually found Alan Langer straight through the tackle of Glenn Lazarus. We see Manoa Thompson on the fly here with Darryl Trindle, but the pass went to Alan Langer. Brisbane cleaned up, now 42 metres out in their own line. It's Terry Madison leaves Peter Johnson, tackled just inside his own half.
Langer. Kevin Walters turning it back into his colleague in the number 7. Andrew G back for O'Neill. That was a play for Brisbane that went hopelessly wrong. Kevin Walters waiting it down inside the 20-metre line. Lintmire goes back. Haven't seen the quantity of work from this fellow, Rod Maybon, tonight so far. Normally you get tired of calling his name, but he hasn't been as prominent in this match as we've seen him in others. Trindle. This is Fuller. Stuart Copeland getting ready to come on for South as Doniger takes it up strongly. Skelton. Field. Busy little player, Craig Field, and a good player. Rumours in abundance about what he's doing next year. Some are saying Western Reds in 1995. Well, that just leaves a question mark on 94, doesn't it? Renoff receiving the pass from Langer, crossing the halfway and the 40-metre line.
Yeah, nice tackle by Skelton, but Souths are getting their forwards caught out wide, and if they continue to throw the ball around the Broncos, they'll carve them up.
Johns stepping from one. Manoa Thompson wraps him up eventually. Langer. Down. Brisbane get their third try.
And Paul Gorton pointed out the problem for South Sydney in that the forwards are getting too wide. Peter Johnson was the man caught out, and he comes up with the missed tackle, but he's much too wide for a front rower. If they go wide and we freeze it there, you'll see that the Brisbane players are able to get outside these two forwards here. One of them is Peter Johnson. He's the number 10. Straight between the two South Sydney players, but what the front rowers are doing out that wide, South Sydney must ask the question. That's where the centres and the inside backs need to be very well covered.
Yeah, nice little step there by Madison. Brisbane had the numbers. They had 3 on 2. That puts pressure on the defence, and Alfie Langer, ever present, back on the inside.
Just pushing it wide, so no addition to the score line.
You know, so they can just stay around the ruck where they should be.
Gino, no trouble. Brisbane breaking the South Sydney defence.
No, not at all. I think they can do it at will. And it's just a perfect example there by Alan Langer. Once he unloaded the ball, he stayed alive, and Alan Can set up Terry Madison, and Alf stayed alive on the inside and backed up for a try.
This is Khan. Gilmeister. Madison again. From Langer through to the hands of Kevin Walters. Johns came in. Oh, he heard the familiar sound of Julian O'Neill. Full back to beat. Gets it inside. Khan backs up. Puts it down. Another try. Well, this could be a cricket score here. We might have 2 cricket matches on here tonight.
Oh, it's a smorgasbord now. The Broncos, just said they're running at will. They are. Here's another one from a long range, another long-range special, a 16-metre job from the Broncos. South's defensive line fairly short, but it's 2-on-2 there. Beautiful inside ball to O'Neill. I thought he'd bombed it. He's got support inside and out. Decided to go himself. He did beat the fullback, and the inside pass to Khan. Lintmire couldn't get there in time.
And that's the danger of Brisbane. One missed tackle. With the speed that they've got, almost unstoppable. Chris Johns, Donegal was the... No, in fact, it was the replacement player coming on. Copeland didn't have enough speed to come across there. Good support play from Willie Khan. Julian O'Neill, well, he did very well. He ended up positioning his player beautifully when he looked like he had support on the inside.
I don't know whether there's anything out there to stop this juggernaut at the moment. Madison. Oh, has he got the length? No.
That player there, Andrew G, with the ball now, he's come back into form tonight, Gene.
Yeah, well, he's had a super return, as Ray mentioned in the opener, that he's only been back two or three weeks now from the first State of Origin match, and I'd like to play him, wouldn't like to play him by the yards he makes each night.
Gilmeister. Kerrod Walters has decided that it's his turn now to get amongst it. We haven't seen Kerrod out from dummy half too much so far. You can bet your bottom dollar as the forwards tire. He'll do more dummy half running. Maybon confronted by the Brisbane chase. Lintmire. Brisbane's home crowd loving this. This is what they came to see.
Well, there's 4 in a row for Alfie. That's what they're cheering. Little skipper, Alan Langer, is leading the way. 4 tackles in a row for him.
Johnston. Tall order for Southside. Craigfield puts it down. Here they come again. Andrew G to play it. Langer provides it across now for Walters, on for Lazarus. Knocked on by Renoff, dived on by Craigfield. Copeland was going to make the point. This is very much a case of David of rugby league versus the Goliath. Representative players bursting through at the seams for Brisbane, up against one of rugby league's real battlers, one of the great clubs. But unfortunately, the Golden Dollar hasn't been around for South Sydney. And so many of these players are working out of Redfern simply for opportunity. You can play on heart for so long and for loyalty for so much longer. But when you meet a side like this on their home turf, it's not going to be easy. Khan confidently kicking ahead. The bounce up and off the arms of South Sydney, but there's the siren in the background. It's all over for the first half. Frank Curry will get his boys together. Hopefully he can find something to say that will lift them. Brisbane exciting in the first half. 4 tries to 2. They lead by 20-8.
What is about to unfold right here on Fox League?
Want more footy? Get more footy.
Help yourself! That's all you can do! That's all I can do, baby!
Want more footy? Get more footy.
This is the place to watch your football. This game is from another universe!
Want more footy? Get more footy.
Got a gut, yeah, shake it off, oh yeah, got a gut, shake it up, yes you can, with the man shake, got a gut, shake it off.
The kitchen's moved from being just the place where you cook meals to being really the central hub around the house, somewhere where you can actually use as an office. The kids can sit there doing homework, and then the kitchen can be an art gallery, somewhere where you can entertain. The kitchen's really become a place where life happens. So your kitchen needs to be designed to suit your life. We have the range and quality to help you do that. Because Bunnings kitchens are made for real life.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
100% Aussie Angus beef, melty cheese, chunky tomato relish, lettuce, and a nice slice of beetroot. 2 words, my friends. Aussie as.
I used to watch WWE on Foxtel, and now I'm one of the biggest WWE superstars.
The best show in sports entertainment. This one's going to be big, guys.
All the superstars, all the live events, all included in your subscription. Your destination for WWE, channel 144, or watch on demand.
There she is. All right, come on, Morty, let's go.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man, Rick. What is this place?
Fox 8 is getting bigger.
Acknowledge me.
Bolder.
Here I am, trying to make the world safer for the people I love.
Better.
Paint the best picture of a horse.
Oh, my word.
Whilst riding a horse.
We want teeth. Tell us everything. You smell that? That's the smell of adventure, Morty.
In this show, I make some accomplished but needy comedians do stupid things for me.
I'm Joe Rogan, and this is Fear Factor.
Good news for all you murder fans. In a word, triumphant.
I'm always down for a fight.
I was expecting applause, but I suppose stunned silence is equally appropriate.
I know that new situations can be intimidating. You're looking around and it's all scary and different. Now, if you just stick with me, Morty, we're going to be... Morty, run! We got to get out of here, Morty!
And so South Sydney for the second half from left to right, and a mountain in front of them as Willie Kahn comes back to the 20-metre line. Do you see a change in that Brisbane side? Lazarus. Peter Ryan is out there for the Broncos in jumper number
28, I think.
28. He's got 28 on, which is down for John Plath, but it's Peter Ryan.
And Andrew G is the man that's left the field as Rod Maybon makes good ground to take that on the full. Can't make it to the 20-metre line. Realistically, if South are to be competitive in this game, I think they must score first, and preferably early in this second half.
And then second and third. And fourth for all.
Copeland. Did you venture into the rooms, Gene?
No, I didn't, Ray. I didn't get the opportunity, but we've just asked trainer Kelvin Giles what was said, and he said that Wayne Bennett was obviously very happy, and he just wants to see his test players put in another good 20 minutes, and maybe they might be in for a little bit of a rest.
Great field, just a little chip over the top, hoping for the bounce, and he forces the mistake and gets 6 more tackles for South Sydney. Just a little bit of complacency there from Brisbane.
Yes, Michael Hancock has come up with a couple of mistakes in the handling department, knocked on after 2 kicks have been put through, and I thought he was at fault in one of the tries by coming in. So Craig Field did put a fair bit of pressure on him, and the ball spilled out, so good chance here as Hermanson tackled 29 out, only a couple of metres in from touch.
Matthew Fuller getting back and taking it up. He's only a lightweight forward, Matthew. Field around the back. Trindle, short ball. Doniger in a beaten side. I've liked some of the things that Doniger has done tonight. Now Rod Maybon comes into his own and cleaned up and forced Julian O'Neill.
Well, that's
good
a
piece of work.
Yeah, bit of possession there by the Rabbits. They've come 100 metres and finally put the little kick in. Maybon. O'Neill, though, showed what a good fullback he is. And nicely recovered.
Nice bit of sportsmanship there from Lintmire too. Just patting O'Neill on the back for a job well done. Nicely weighted kick. O'Neill did the right thing, went down, didn't try to bat it over the sideline with boots or feet or hands or anything else. As Fuller takes it, that's more than 1 feet, isn't it?
Good tackle by Peter Ryan. line, and there was a forward pass from the dummy half from South Sydney, but they got away with it. Skelton goes out from dummy half. He's tackled 18 metres out from the Brisbane line.
His personality changes when we come north of the border, doesn't it, Reyes?
Thompson, the only thing that changes, I'll give you the tip. Field, Trindle, Maybon, Patterson. Plenty of passing, but they're not running with a great deal of urgency nor purpose. They're 5 metres out from the line. Can they find their third try? Craig Field almost dropped it, put the scurry through the middle, and Brisbane come up with it off Alan Langer. He's the only player that's really bothering Brisbane, Craig Field.
Well, he is. You know, look at this beautiful pace off the mark here by Field. There is a gap there. He gets through it, and away he goes. It nearly looked like try time. O'Neill was back there to cover him up, and the ball went astray. But look at Brisbane now, throwing the ball around. Kerrod Waller's in possession. Well, he was. He passed it to Alfie.
Johns. Langer. Beautiful pass. Khan goes down to the 30-metre line, stands up the fullback, puts the foot down even further, and plunges in for another try.
What a great individual effort by Willie Khan. He did it all on his own. First of all, he burst through some feeble defence. He beat a couple there, had plenty of space to work in, but when he got round Maybon, he had 2 or 3 more coming at him. And a great try to Willie Khan. Look at this, there's nothing on out there. There's a couple of defenders, he beats them easily, and it's 1-on-1. Maybon, good luck on Willie Khan. Maybon slips, now Khan gets around him. Look at them all come. He's still too powerful.
Yeah, and the great show of speed was the fact that he had a change of pace in there, so he had to change the speed that he was running. That's a magnificent ball from Alan Langer. It was 3-on-3. Now that's where he almost stops. And what about that for acceleration, to get outside Rod Maybon, who's not a slow man. Paul Mellor coming across valiantly, but Willie Khan finished off. Beautiful work from Langer, and Madison does the rest.
And Khan was away and inside Maybon.
It was unusual defence from the winger, Lintmire. He actually looked like he was trying to stay with somebody on the outside. There was nobody there. Willie Khan was the widest man, so how he would not have come in, I can't fathom.
Lazarus. John Plath is on now for Brisbane. Well, he's got away from Patterson twice. Now Patterson has a third go at him. Can. The roar comes from one of the Broncos. Hold it, Canny. Langer. Kevin Wilders. Thought Johns had gone. Langer wrestled by Matthew Fuller, still able to give it to Kerrod. Now for Johns. Johns to the halfway. They're rising in confidence every second of the game now, the Broncos. Madison away from Hermanson, and another, inside another. Then for Langer now with Willie Khan. Khan for Kerrod Wilders. Has his brother with him, finds John Platt, who puts Gilmeister up the centre. They're 12 metres out from the line, 5 gone. They'll probably put it through the hands. Kevin Wilders away, then Can, then Renoff, now Hancock. Gets under one, goes through another. Does he put it down? No, held up.
And Darryl Trindle lying on the ground there was no match for Michael Hancock. Went straight over the top of him. Some good work there from other South defenders to stop Hancock from scoring. But unless South Sydney stop this football and don't allow the Brisbane side to keep the ball alive, it is going to be a cricket score. That's great work there from Doniger and Maybon.
Capelin, 26-8. 47 minutes now of elapsed time. Trindle. At 23 degrees in Brisbane today. Down to around 13 tonight. Breeze in the second half behind the Broncos. Doniger. Fuller. Hancock. Never say die, Michael Hancock. Now they've got him. Now the touch judge goes in.
Looks like Patterson has come up with an infringement in the play in the tackle here. Being called out.
3 or 4 little punches to the head.
3 or 4 little punches to the head, he said. Let's have a look and see if the touch judge has seen what the camera saw.
It must have been short ones, coming up shortly. They're pretty ordinary ones.
Yes, I'm glad he's not commentating on fights. Or scoring fights more particularly. I think Patterson was flattered by the touch judge's comments.
There's no Floyd Patterson.
That's for sure. That's pretty obvious. Pretty obvious, Pete. For more than one reason. Well, he did have a very good suntan. Play by Alan Camp. Madison, just short passing. John Platt has got a little smell of the action now. You wouldn't mind a touch of this yourself, Gino, would you?
I'd love to be out there, Ray. They're really playing some great support play. They're never saying die, and whoever passes the ball, they're not going to the ground. They're getting some good offloads away.
Renoff, in and away, out and away, and down she goes. Renoff. I don't think he's been in the form that we've seen from him last year, but a game like this might give him a chance to grab his confidence back. 30 points to 8.
And a learning process for many of these South Sydney players, and one is Craig Field. As we freeze it there, that is Craig Field. You can see the good work from the winger telling him to stay in. Just look at the footwork Renoff puts on Craig Field there. That's just brilliant work. A man sensational on his feet, Steve Renoff. Didn't particularly like the way he put the ball down, but who cares as long as it's 4 points, and this will show up his work very nicely front on.
Yeah, pure class, isn't it? Lovely footwork, nice swerve in the end, and no South player laid a hand on him.
30 points to 8, 3 out of 4. Left the boot like a dart, hits the upright, no goal. No change, 30 points to 8.
He's starting to shorten stride, Ray.
Oh, he is too. That's young McRae in 20 for South. I wanted to say something about him earlier on, but there are very big raps on him. Morganson on, meantime, for Renoff. This is him in 17. Gilmeister. Nearly to the halfway now, Brisbane. Madison. I know St George are leading this competition, and they're going great. So is North Sydney, so is Canterbury. My God, they've got some depth here. And they're going to take a hell of a beating if they're going to lose their crown.
Well read there by Michael Andrews, coming across to snuff out the attack, really calm, putting a little kick through. What South really need to do now is to get into many set play situations as possible, which means that they should be kicking for touch for mine. You don't want to play the Brisbane side in open play. So they don't want to be kicking the football down and giving really calm Michael Hancock and Julian O'Neill room to move. I also think they've got to test the referee's patience a little bit by holding the Broncos players down as much as possible. Right to the nth degree. They must slow the momentum.
Stuart Copeland plays the ball. Trindle dances away from Morganson. Hancock will run it back. O'Neill goes up to support on the left. Hancock, watch him get up and he'll fight the tackle. Well, he doesn't. Would you believe it?
Got him again, Ray.
Would you believe it? Johns. Walters to his brother Kerrod. Now for Platt. Run around support from Kerrod. Bouncing ball away for Hancock. 12 metres out from the South Sydney line. Langer. Gilmeister. 7 out.
Tackle Hermanson.
Karen Walters. That's not a knock-on. They could easily score from it. Handball across to Michael Hancock.
Play on, says the ref, come off his foot.
G. Can. Couple of tries in the grand final for the man with the ball, Alan Can. 5 gone now. Kerrod. Alan Langer. Kevin Walters. Did it come off South? Yes, it did. Willie Kahn. Kahn, 7 metres from the line. Karen Walters. Good dummy from Kerrod. Nobody there at all, but he fell through it. Andrew G. Plath. Langer. Oh, beautiful level pass. Running off his hip there was Alan Can, and he gets the try.
Great sustained pressure there by the Broncos. Very patient with the football, the Broncos, on those about 10 tackles. They just kept hammering away at the south line. In the end, the south line had to crack. And a beautiful little pass by Alfie. An Alfie special, this one. Look where Cam positions himself, just off the hip. And some pretty weak defence through a couple of non-existent South tackles, and Can gets his try.
And take your hat off to Willie Kahn and his teammates, who, on the last tackle for South Sydney, their last set of 6, when they put the hand up for that length of time, they had to crack.
Madison from close range. A further 2 points. I think this will probably be the biggest score registered in clashes between Brisbane and South Sydney. From memory, Brisbane gave South one hell of a hiding at the football stadium a few years back. This could rise to gigantic proportions.
Let's take nothing away from the effort put in by South. I've been quite impressed by some of the members of their forward pack.
Yeah, what about Hermanson? He's had a big game, hasn't he?
He's been great, and Peter Johnson has had his moments. Doniger's worked hard. I think Hermanson's been absolutely outstanding, the number 8 for South Sydney. So the effort's going in, but we're watching a class football team here who are being given space to move the football. And there's just so much class there. The way they play their ad-lib football, they just throw the football around until someone finds themselves in space.
Langer chips over the top, looks for support, finds O'Neill, then Langer, now Kahn, and Kahn gets number 3, is it? Willie Kahn puts it down, 40 points to 8.
There's probably not a better short kicking game in the competition than Alan Langer. We saw it in the test match the other night. We saw it on that occasion there. No sweeper for South Sydney. Just a little kick over the top. Found a lot of space. And Kevin Walters was the man to capitalise. You see the South swinger on the far side dropping well back. And that's, yeah, Julian O'Neill it was. Offloaded to Langer. He set up Willie Kahn. And it was just great awareness by Alan Langer, knowing that there was nobody at home, and the men outside him reacted positively.
Well, the fricasseed rabbit on the menu tonight, poor old bunnies. No answer now to the Broncos in full flight. Well, Willie Kahn's having a picnic out there and gets his 3rd and makes it very easy for Madison right in front. This horse is still going around. It hasn't had a chance to have a rest in the last 20 minutes.
I won't be on it at Rose Hill tomorrow.
It's at a Melbourne Cup preparation, let me tell you.
10 tries for the year for Willie Kahn. 166 goals, is it, for Madison? South Sydney with the restart. And a penalty. South in front of the kicker.
Oh, it's a miracle.
Oh, come on, Billy.
Yeah, how many times do we see that from nearly every side in the competition?
8 times a game you can get penalties for this one. Oh, well, hang on. He's 20 yards offside.
You're kidding. 2 metres. And I don't mind seeing that as long as every referee is consistent with it. Fair enough, it's bad discipline from South Sydney.
Brisbane, since they joined the league in 1988, have won 99 of their 145 games. Tonight brings up number 100. Their 100th victory tonight, and they're having an absolute picnic out there. O'Neill. 10 tries for the year now for Willie Kahn. Look at them throw it around. That's play on. Johns for Hancock. Hancock wrapped up by young Paul Miller. Jared Walters. Langer. Kevin Walters. Flicks it out the back. Madison runs it. It's still play on. Willie Kahn. And he's pulled down by Lintmire. Langer. Inside for Plath now. 5 metres out from the line and they've lost it.
And a turnover there on the last tackle there. South's get a respite, and really it's unbelievable football there by the Broncos. Championship stuff by them.
They're caught in that vicious circle, aren't they, Souths? Like, they're allowing Brisbane to get the ball away, which means that they've got to cover a lot of territory in defence. That means they're going to come up with missed tackles. The more missed tackles they come up with, the more they have to chase. So they're really chasing their own tails. I mean, what they need is to get 12 or 18 tackles where they've got the football. If they can force a couple of sets of 6 in a row, just settle the play down. They're playing at Brisbane speed at the moment, and Brisbane are too good.
Just looking at Brisbane's biggest winning margins in premiership games. 40 points to 2. They beat Cronulla in 1991 at Lang Park. They beat Norths by 44 to 6, and here they go again. Willie Kahn down the right flank, stepping inside, but pulled down 15 metres out from the line. Langer running it to the line. Oh, one-handed pass was chanced there. I think it was Kevin Walters. And Harrigan gives a penalty now to Brisbane.
He's giving 10 minutes in the bin to South Sydney player.
Paul Fuller, I think it is.
Yes. This one he's got him for a breach in the inside the 10, or probably holding a player back maybe. Quick tap taken by Alfie now.
Alan Cann trying to force his way over. Or was it Andrew G? It was Andrew G. From Kerrod Walters. The run around with Madison. He dummies to 2 of them. Eventually takes it himself. He's 8 metres from the South Sydney line. Langer. Oh, Langer stands them up. He does the hokey pokey and puts it down.
Yeah, nice try to Alfie. I bet him, give me a jumper. I'll run a couple in tonight. It's a great play there by Brisbane. O'Neill bleeding there from the mouth. Just have a look at why the sin bin incident happened. Here it is. Alan Lang was taken out of play in the background. That was the incident. He's in the bin. South down to 12 men. And Alfie just the beautiful right foot step. And no one there in front of him.
Terry Madison, he's had some pretty easy ones. This is just as easy.
Let's get it in its right perspective without trying to take anything away from Brisbane. 9 internationals, I think I said earlier, 3 state players. And South Sydney, mainly a team comprised of a couple of very loyal players from years gone by. But for the most part, a crop of youngsters given an opportunity to play first grade. So it's always going to be an awesome task coming here to play a team like this. A team that could easily run out and represent Queensland or Australia.
Yes, but these are danger games too, and the sort of game that Wayne Bennett and his players will be happy that they got through. I think I'm right in saying that already this season South Sydney have knocked over Norths, who are firmly established in the top 3. Well, sometimes your intensity can be a little bit down if you're expecting to win the football games. They are the hardest ones to get away with. They've had a lot of players on rep duty as missed tackles here, just grueling South Sydney. So there are a few things against the Broncos coming into this game, but after an early hiccup allowing a try after 3 minutes, it's been shut the gate.
Kerrod Walters finds Willie Kahn, steps inside Lintmire, gets between him and Manoa Thompson. But no, he wasn't able to get it down, or did he knock on across the line?
The referee's rule he's knocked on across the line. Willie Kahn took a while to actually get the ball down. Did well here, Lintmire. There it is, he's held up there. It's touched the ground there, and that's what the referee's seen. He thought the ball's popped out. I thought he was held out long enough myself.
Well, this is the third Broncos try tonight that's been bombed, or it's been ruled as a no try, so they've had no luck in that area, but they're leading by 40, so it doesn't matter. Been some great players out there for the Broncos. Whether the match is going to be a hard one, Sterlo.
He's coming into contention. Steve Renoff was probably mine, but he has been off the field for a long time now and hasn't played. He won't have played for the last 20 or 30 minutes of the game.
Patterson heading for the sideline. See, some referees interpret that play differently than others. There was no way in the world Patterson was going anywhere. No way he was going to be able to unload the football. You're watching what I'm talking about. And he's allowed to be forced over the sideline. If a tackle hadn't been made on that player, I'm not here. And that's what the rule says. If ever a player can't promote the football, a tackle will be deemed to have been made. And yet he's allowed to be manhandled, and that's not a hard task for three blokes to throw one bloke over the sideline. Gilmeister. 3 tries tonight to Willie Kahn, 2 to Alan Langer. O'Neill's got 1, Lazarus can Renoff, and here comes another. And Julian O'Neill, he gets his second. He's had a fine game, Julian.
This is a case of, once again, just...
that's the half century, I should have said.
Yep, some poor South Sydney defence. They had the numbers out wide, but we saw some South defenders come in out of the line there. Like, there's no reason to come in. He should have drifted and backed off. O'Neill went straight through the gap.
This is the biggest winning margin, the biggest win in the history of the Broncos. As O'Neill goes in to score his second, that's 10 tries for the night for the Broncos.
Why wouldn't Julian O'Neill be scoring tries with the distribution of Alan Langer? The one team from the one city. They are the premiers, and they do play very attractive football, so why wouldn't the fans come out and show their support?
Madison from 20 out, 8 in, struck it beautifully, straight between the big uprights.
The thing is with South, you can't knock the effort, can you? Like, they've been caught out, but they've, to miss a tackle, you have to attempt it. And, they put their bodies on the line, but they've just been beaten by a better side.
They're trying very hard, South. So maybe it comes back to what Ray said in the first half about the salary cap. Brisbane 1.6. What are South's grabs? About 1.1?
I think they're working on about 1.2, 1.3.
Exactly. So,
but the fact is that South have made do with limited funds, and they've just said, look, if you guys want to come and play for opportunity, there's a job here to be done, and kids are capitalising on that. But they can't come here and play it. Well, they can. They're here. But they're up against a team that you'd be proud of to see in green and gold. Certainly maroon.
Gino, whilst the backs of the Broncos have had a field day tonight, the forwards, I've been very impressed with the forwards tonight. They've kept them going forward all night, haven't they?
Yeah, they certainly have. And I think Trevor Gilmeister, the back row, Trevor Gilmeister, Alan Cann, and also Terry Madison have been the difference. I know they had disappointing games last week, and as I said earlier, they were disappointed in their own efforts, and I think they're out there to prove a point tonight.
Trendall. Paul Fuller. It's gone to ground and kicked immediately through by Kevin Walters and by Willie Kahn, and again by Willie Kahn. Now he picks it up. Flick passes back. Picked up there by Alan Cann, but a knock on. It was 2, just a tiny one.
I don't think there'll be too many criticisms of this Brisbane performance, but maybe Wayne Bennett would have liked to have seen just a little bit more discipline this end of the game. He knows it could be tougher matches where in the last 5 or 10 minutes they're going to be under pressure. They've come up with a lot of drop ball as Craig Field tries something different, puts Trindle away, and Manoa Thompson now involved.
Thompson's pass put down by Brett Patterson. John Plath is tackled. And there's the siren in the background. A merciful sound for South Sydney, I'm sure. 54-8 in favour of the Broncos. The defending premiers, awesome tonight.